Hello and welcome to the Nerd Room.
Hello, this is Zapero here, welcoming you to the Nerd Room.
Boot sequence initiated. Loading. Project Double Trouble.exe online. Readme.txt prompted. Opening now.
For a quick rundown on what Project Double Trouble entails, or even what a Pokemon Nuzlocke is, you can look down at the description for a link to a Google Doc getting into the specifics. But, as a quick, summed up explanation, a randomized Pokemon Nuzlocke takes the original game and shuffles the Pokemon around, changing the Pokemon you would normally see out with something completely random, and then imposes a set of strict rules. The most important of which is if a Pokemon faints, it is dead. And if you black out, you lose. Time to restart. Game over. That's the end. In addition, you can only catch the first Pokemon encountered on each route. Where Project Double Trouble diverts and adds a twist is we crank up the difficulty with a 15% level booster on the enemy trainers. Add a minimum of one Pokemon to every trainer's team. And we make every trainer battle a double battle. And if that's not trouble enough, under these rules, we must battle every trainer we see. No exceptions. So, let's get into it.
Loading. Save data. No data found. Launching. New game. Awaiting input. Launch.
Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to Project Double Trouble. As this is the first series we're doing here, I hope anybody watching will be patient with me as I go through changes and iterations on how things flow. Things might take a little while getting used to. And, you know, some things just make sense, but Some things, not so much. But it's okay. Now, before recording this first session of the game, to have some transparency, I have played ROMs where I have set up all double battles in the past. So there's a few things that I'm aware of that are going to increase the difficulty. So if you're in any way versed in Pokemon YouTube or Pokemon Rumble or Pokemon content anywhere, you've probably seen Nuzlocke before, and you probably know a little bit of what's going on. But I don't think anybody's ever done the double battles before, so to let you know what some of the limitations are, similar to a hardcore Nuzlocke, which I know a lot of famous... Ooh, I love Dratini. A lot of famous, or more... Oh, well, okay. I can't not. But... Oh, Dodrio is actually really good too. But double battles function in an odd way. How similar to other YouTubers, they will do a hardcore Nuzlocke where they're not allowed to change Pokemon. They have to set their battle mode to set during battles. Double battles, there is no set mode that you need to turn on because you can't change Pokemon as your opponent is swapping out because it's a double battle. All of the Pokemon have to stay in during that switch out process. So unlike the actual hard mode randomizers, where people add on the extra restriction of not being able to heal in battle, I am not opting for that yet. Possibly I could see that in the future, but I have done double battles before, and you're gonna wish that you could heal if you lock yourself out of healing in the middle of combat. Because oftentimes the AI tends to bully one side, and if you're not careful with managing your HP, you will lose Pokemon very quickly. But, as you can see, that isn't necessarily going to be a problem with this run, as my starter is a Rayquaza, however you want to pronounce his name. Giant snake thing, his name is Set. If you know what the cartoon I'm referencing there is, I owe you like $10 because you know what the cartoon is, and you're my guy. But that is probably the biggest difference between the hardcore randomizers and Project Double Trouble, because both are basically locked into set. Ooh, that's not bad. Preventing paralysis. Naive's not too bad. Let's see what we can run into. Surskits. Some trits. I always call them Surskits. I know plenty of people have talked about it, but you always call the the mon the name of what you used to call it whenever you were a little kid and you didn't read the name all the way. So I've always called it Surskit, even though I know it's Centret. And Ratata, I always called Ratatat. Oh no. Oh no, oh no. Okay, okay, we're good. We're good. Don't let that be our Route 1 encounter, please. Really, please. Pretty please. I don't want to lose any more encounters than I have to. One thing that you will find out if you are joining me on this journey, every encounter is worth picking up because you will lose mons to overleveling because of the requirement where we must battle every trainer that we see on the screen. And because all of the trainers' mons are at such a higher level, it tends to increase the rate at which we gain XP so substantially that it becomes a problem. So you'll notice... Oh, right. I forget in the settings I always enable the auto run before I can even run inside of buildings. But you'll learn very quickly that every mon, even ones that you might think aren't worth grabbing because, oh, that's, you know, it's just a Rattata, it's not gonna be, you know, it's gonna be worth it. Alright, Oak. Let's get this Nuzlocke rolling. I know it'll take a while before anybody ends up seeing any of these. So more than likely, the series will be coming to an end or wrapping up before anybody leaves a comment or anything like that. But oh, I am fine with a Poliwag, actually. Let's just hope that I can catch it. But what I was going to say was, you know, if you comment down, you know, in the comment section, like, stuff you want to hear about, stuff, if you want me to just focus on gameplay, that's the way I tend to like whenever I'm watching guys do Pokemon on YouTube and Rumble and stuff, you know, whatever content they're making. I always like to focus a little more on the content whenever you're doing a Let's Play, because you're solo. What shall we call him? Probably go for Poliwrath, just so that way we can get the fighting type. So that way we can get fighting stab. We'll call him Swirly, because he's going to give the enemy team some swirlies. And before anybody says anything or comments anything about my spellings, you'll either have to forgive me, because I'm never good at it anyways, or just accept that the English language was made to be broken. Obviously. Why else would, you know, the rules that we learn in school, like I before E except after C, and sometimes the 32 exceptions, you know, be a thing. might not be a bad idea to do some switch training on Azraels, if I can pull it off. But 7 XP, ugh. So like I was saying, you're going to want to make sure that you catch every encounter that you can. Of course, there's ones that you might have to forfeit. You know, you'll have mons die, of course. Unless you're super lucky in my very first playthrough of a Nuzlocke, when everything was randomized, I got a Camerupt with magnitude, and my partner Pokemon, the only other Pokemon I was able to catch, just because my luck in throwing Pokeballs was not there, happened to be Surskit's evolved form, Masquerena. That's a T-Tar. I like T-Tar. I like him a lot. I like him a lot. Do I think a Twister? I don't think a Twister's gonna kill. Yeah. Alright. Luckily, Dark is special in this gen, so him lowering my defense isn't actually scary. I don't think he knows any rock type moves at this level as well. But with Camerupt using magnitude, my Masquerena could just use bubble or water gun or whatever it was, and I was able to just magnitude everything to death. Because, you know, if you get magnitude like 8 or higher, it's the same stats or better than an earthquake. And as long as you're not going against a flying mon, you're gonna wipe out at least half of both of their HPs. So as long as you get a magnitude mon and, you know, or an earthquake mon, like, you know, Tyranitar technically can potentially get earthquake. If you get an earthquake mon with a flying mon, you can kind of just walk through the game. Oh, it's just that easy. Thank you, T-Tar. We got a tyrant on our hands, baby. Whenever I catch a female Tyranitar, I like to name it Carant instead of Tyrant, because it's like a Karen. Let's see, abilities wise, Shed Skin. That's not bad. That's not bad. We take that. Natural Killer. I mean, that's okay. It's not like Regenerate, but you know, it'll change as he evolves anyway, so we're not too worried about it. You may be wondering why the first battle wasn't a tag battle. And if you are, I can kind of explain that to you. It's because the first battle is not set to a tag battle or a double battle. For the sheer fact of some of the games can kind of bug out if you don't have 2 separate Pokemon whenever the double battle modes are set. So to prevent that issue from happening, the randomizer makes the first trainer battle just a 1v1, so that way you can, you know, not have to worry about bugs and glitches. I think in this gen it creates a missing no on your side. You know, the little question mark circle, good old missing no. Which, if you haven't ever actually gone and gotten a missing node to appear for yourself, you should definitely consider doing it. It's a bit of work, but it's super cool to actually achieve it. Nidorana, alright. I take a Nidoran. Prefer Nido King than a Nido Queen, but oh, there's no way I can twist for this. That would just die. If I have to, I can switch to Poliwag and possibly try and land. Yeah, we should be fine to switch to Poliwag. We've got Tyranitar and freaking Rayquaza. I don't know what I'm worried about losing Poliwag to a Nidoran, but you know, that's the other thing. You got to make sure that you keep your levels pretty even. I know, off the top of my head, if memory serves, Brock is level 14 with his Onix, and I'll make sure I always double check before we go any further. But Brock's level 14 Ace is where we'll have to draw the line on XP, because the second that Amon gets over that, we gotta either box him or just not use him until we beat Brock. Alright, that's some good numbers. Part of me wants to throw either Nidoran or Poliwag in the box just for sake of not having them die by accident, but alright, we're gonna name her Queen Me. Where's the U? Queen Me, baby. Alright, we'll get Viridian Forest here. We'll also check the hidden items. For those that don't know, there's a hidden item right here. Mental Herb is not too bad. That could sell for something at the very least. And then, it's not a hidden item, of course, but there's an item up over here. Alright, and our Viridian Forest encounter! Murkrow. Now that I will take. We'll see if just a Pokeball can just catch him. Full HP. Oh, come on, Murkrow. No, I know Rayquaza is just gonna freaking one-shot the guy. Here's an idea. Oh dang, landed a crit. If he survives the bite, awesome. If he doesn't, it makes sense. He is kind of a glass cannon. Awesome. The resistance helped for sure. The only thing we gotta be careful of is another crit, because you know, in this gen, crits be crazy. It's the one thing I don't want to ever go back to Route 1 there and run into a Regice and get crit explosions for no reason other than the fact of haha stinky. I almost goofed there hard. Come on, Murkrow. Nice. That is actually a solid lineup. Alright. Murkrow gets the name Dapper, because he's got a dapper hat. Love dapper hats. Ooh, metal coat. That sells for money. Alright, let's see. What else could we have gotten? Ah, Kabuto! Hands down my favorite fossil. I don't know what it is. I just like him and Kabutops too much. I forget when Rayquaza learns anything other than Twister, but hopefully we'll get lucky and find a TM somewhere. Or... There's a bunch of hidden items up there in Viridian Forest that we can go and get, of course, but I'm not too worried about that yet. I probably need to do some grinding first. Especially before we go over there and fight Gary again. Fight Chat. That's right, Chat. Whoever's in there, I'm calling you out. We're gonna move some mons. Ooh, escape rope. Ooh, insomnia. Okay. So we're gonna put the Murkrow in the box. Purely because we already have a dark type. Ooh, Magma Armor prevents freezing. Why is all of our abilities based off of preventing or removing status effects though? Prevents paralysis, prevents freeze, heals status effects. That is odd to say the least. But let's go do a bit of grinding before we do the first battle. Up over here against Gary. The Gary fight is gonna be a little more. Oh, of course it's a water mon. I don't think it knows any water moves, but I'm not risking it. I'm switching over to set. But the Gary fight's gonna be a little more difficult than you might think. Of course it has Whirlpool. I am so glad I switched. But the Gary fight's gonna be a little more difficult than you might think because special trainers, important trainers, actually get 2 extra mons on their teams. Meaning Gary has 4 mons right now. Now, yes, I have 5 technically, if you count the Murkrow that I put back in the box. And I have Rayquaza and Tyranitar, don't get me wrong. But that 15% level boost is going to make his Pokemon from a 9 to a 10, maybe an 11. And if I were to fight him right now without grinding, I would literally be walking into my grave. I'm pretty sure this fight is actually a skippable fight with Gary. At least from what I've seen, like when people are trying to speedrun things, they just run past him and they fight him later. Like 100%, no glitch, no exploit runs. But I don't know why you wouldn't just take the free XP. He's a quick fight whenever he's at this level. Ooh, Growlithe. He's not really a force to be reckoned with yet. Versus whenever, if you come back to fight him later. And I guess for some reason, I always had in my brain, because, you know, Leaf Green was my introduction to not only Pokemon, but to video games as a whole. It was my very first video game. So for some reason, I guess I always had in my head that you couldn't skip around him. You were doomed to have to fight him no matter what, guaranteed before you did anything else. Like I think in my brain, like you couldn't even get the tutorial TV till you had gone and fought Gary, the Teachy TV. Which I miss the days of optional hand-holding for Pokemon. You used to be able to, you know, watch the TV to try and get information if you needed information. If you didn't and you already knew what you were doing, the game just said, have at it. Cowabunga, baby. As the meme says, a cowabunga it is then. Oh. Didn't expect it to roar me. It's also nice in the newer games that Roar and Whirlwind can't push you away if you're a high enough level from them. That's one of those things about the randomizers that's just a little on the rough side is, you know, it's like a box of chocolates. You never know what it's gonna hold, what's gonna be inside. Are you gonna start with a Rayquaza, Dratini, Dodrio lineup? Or are you gonna start with a Camerupt, like the first one of these I did? Or are you gonna find a hidden gem? Like the very first randomizer I ever ran was a Leaf Green Fire Red, because I love this game. But I ran it and I got a Grumpig as like my only worthwhile starter. I was like, I don't want to have to use Grumpig. Well, oh nice, I got the flinch, let's go. I picked the Grumpig because it was either Grumpig or like Sunflora or Cacnea or something. And I'm not too big a fan of Cacnea. I was like, you know what? We'll grab the Psychic type because, you know, Psychic hits a good range of types. It's not, you know, dead in the water to anything other than dark. But I went in with that Grumpig. Man, I did not know how freaking bulky Grumpig was. I was kind of afraid. Like, how isn't Grumpig better in, like, competitive or stuff? Because this thing is bulky. I almost made, like, big time mistake by staying in. All he would have had to have had was a fighting type move, and I probably would have lost T-Tar. For anyone who is watching and has kept up with me here, and also watches other Pokemon content, you might know of a certain series of some other content creators. Oh yeah, if he had used Arm Thrust on me, I would have been dead. I would have been so sad. But some other Pokemon content creators, PokeTubers, there were 3 Tyrannitars in the throughout the whole series, with the 4 of them playing. All 3 of them died. One of them due to the enemy team because it was a cage lock, and 2 of them to the Nuzlocke. Like that's got to be rough that you didn't even get to like utilize the T-Tars in the locks to their full effectiveness because they died in the lock, if memory serves. Like that's gotta sting. But we'll get to a comfortable level here with Tyranitar and Rayquaza. We'll put them at the lead. That should be fine. Kingler's got nothing for special. But we'll get Tyranitar and Rayquaza here to a comfortable, we'll say a comfortable 10 probably. Match chat's level. Now I'm super cautious when I'm grinding, and if y'all think it'd just be better to do like a time lapse, just let me know. I can definitely do just a time lapsed grind sesh whenever I go off to grind, or be like Minecraft YouTubers. I did some off-screen mining, come back with a castle made of diamond and netherite and netherite tools and armor and netherite pigs, like mount pigs, and netherite horse armor, which I don't think is. Oh, I could have had Trico too. It's okay. T-Tars better than Trico. Don't look your gift horse in the mouth. But I love Sceptile so much. He's so cool. Especially Mega Sceptile. I wish they brought Megas back. Makes me wonder if there's a petition anywhere out there to petition the Pokemon Company to bring back Megas. I will say, playing Scarlet, because that's the one I grabbed, Scarlet, because I like prehistoric. I like, you know, ancient thing. Oh my gosh. That is not nice. Haha, I get flinched. Don't get to whirlwind me, punk. But in Scarlet and Violet, don't get me wrong, the terrestrialization, super cool. They should have called it Delta Species. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the Pokemon card game had a card variant where Pokemon would have a different type. So for instance, I know me and my little brother, when we were collecting Pokemon cards, we had some Delta Species. We had a Delta Species Charmeleon. This is the one that's always stuck in my head because I thought it was super cool. It was an electric type Charmeleon that was a Delta Species. And I don't know who was in charge of naming the new mechanic or the setup for the new mechanic. I don't know who it was. I'm not going to necessarily call them out, but they missed the golden opportunity to just call them Delta Species, because you know that's already something that happened in Pokemon. Like, come on, guy. Alright. Hariyamas, go away. Oh, dang. We're not gonna stay in and get crit. Especially because after he focused energy, good golly, that would have sucked. But the Pokemon Company missed an epic opportunity to bring back Delta Species, at least in my opinion. Swirly. Alright, one more fight for T-Tar, and he should be level 10. accuracy drops. I love whenever frickin' Mud Slap's on my side. I hate it when it's used against me. I know it's a little hypocritical, but man, it sucks. And I think in the more recent games, they've actually like buffed Mud Shot, or it's not Mud Shot. Whatever attack that the frickin' Laron just used. I'm brain farting like hardcore, but I think they've increased the base damage that it does, because it used to only be like a 10 power move, 15 power move. For any of those that have gone down the hacked ROM route, I used to love to get me hack ROM of Pokemon Glazed and run Krogunk, Toxicroak, and that early game, man, I'd run Mud Shot, Mud Slap, that's what it is. I'd run Mud Slap for freaking like 3 gyms on freaking Toxicroak or Krogunk, just because, well, he didn't necessarily have the best coverage moves, but I loved playing the Pokemon. And Mud Slap was just so good because it dropped down their accuracy to the point that they were useless. And then I could Poison Jab or whatever else to try and murder them that I wanted. And life was good. Life was good. And, if you guys let me know that you want, other type of videos, other content, if you want hacked ROMs, I'm down to find the modifications and apply them to ROMs. I'm proud to say I own every Pokemon game, so ripping a file isn't gonna take too much time and effort, much like this one. This is my personal Leaf Greens, ripped right off. I even had the save file for a playthrough, the most recent playthrough on there that I cleared out before we went rolling here. I wonder when Rayquaza learns anything else. I don't remember. We might just have to get lucky with our TM's randomization. And for those who don't know, if you haven't checked out the Google link with the Google Doc, you might want to. Down there you'll find the exact modifications that we've set to the ROM for if you want to join on the adventure. Those modifications are going to be all of Project Double's, all of Project Double Trouble's modification. My original plan is to see how this goes. If you guys like it, if anybody likes it, aka if I like it, because I do, then this will probably be a series where we take on each region in order. Region 1, Region 2, Gen 1, Gen 2 regions, Gen 3, Gen 4. My plan is to use the most latest version though, So as you obviously see, I'm in fire red and leaf green, not blue or red or yellow, for the distinct purpose or the distinct reason of one, you can't do double battles in red, blue, and yellow, if memory serves. Two, I want access to a little more mons than the original 151 for the sheer fact of, well, you know, a little bit more variety makes the competition a little more fierce, especially whenever we get into late game, whenever every mon is forced to be maxed evolution. So, you know, no Weedles, only Beedrills, no Caterpies, only Butterfrees, for difficulty purposes, but also, you know, different mechanics, like even if double battles were a functionality in Gen 2, or let's say Gen 3, Emeralds, Pokemon Emerald has double battles capability. We're probably going to take Alpha Ruby or Alpha Sapphire or Omega Ruby rather than the original Hoenn region for Project Double Trouble, for the sheer fact of, you know, that's after the special split, which is super huge, at least in my opinion, because, you know, then Pokemon like Dragonite become super relevant, because, you know, they're not a physical attacker or a special attacker locked behind the typing split. Alright. We're gonna risk it for the biscuit here. We're gonna think that we don't need anything other than Tyranitar and Rayquaza. And for those who don't know, if I die, if I black out here, it's game over. And we're restarting. I'll spin up a new ROM, spin up a new randomization, and we'll crack at it. I'm hoping that I'm not foreshadowing anything by stating that, by the way. So as you can see, he's got 4 mons. They are level 10. I did kind of predict that. And unfortunately for me, both of his mons are terrible for T-Tar here. But that's okay, because Executor, being Psychic is just easy street. And we can just bully one side. We don't even have to worry about the Dratini now. The Twister from Set here will definitely put in work. Oh, come on. Freaking doesn't Poison Sting have like a 15%, like a 10% chance to poison? Oh, I got the flinch. I can't complain, never mind. But every time the enemy uses one of those types of moves that has like a super low chance to poison, like Poison Sting, for some reason I always feel like I get poisoned. Like, come on, I'm walking here. That's okay. We've got Shed Skin on T-Tar. Ooh, a Nidorana. That's something we need to keep an eye out for. Oh, level 11 on T-Tar. We're gonna have to be careful. Brox is level 14. Nice. Shed Skin coming in clutch there. I know they're nowhere near death, but man, that double target damage is... Single target is way better for sure. Alright, folks. with that battle there, we're gonna do the ritual. The old-timey 5-year-old me can't play. This is super difficult for me in the newer games with the open world and everything. If you don't save standing inside the Pokeball, we have beef. You hear me? We got beef. And with that, I bid you adieu.
Saving progress. Please do not turn off the device. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Our